Hello everybody, welcome to part 30 of Monty's restoration. A year in 10 minutes. I know, hard to believe, isn't it? It's been a whole year since I started the restoration work on Monty. And here's a quick summary then of everything we've achieved throughout the year, all crammed into about 10 minutes. Well, actually Monty's been at the farm for about 18 months. It was back in January last year in a very cold, wet morning, blowing a gale. Phil Quinn from Quinn's Farm Services with a marvellous bit of driving as he reversed his low loader into the gate with no more difficulty than Joe Bloggs parking his Fiesta in Sainsbury's, really. Made it look easy. Anyway, despite the wind and the rain and the miserable, we got Monty unloaded and he got run up the farm track up to where the other trucks are and literally just parked in the corner with a tarpaulin on and got left there for about 6 months. I was a bit busy with other stuff at the time, a couple of other projects to finish off, and of course got my other 2 trucks to look after as well. So it wasn't until July we actually got stuck in and started work on Monty. First job, lift off the skip and then get the cab off. Well, the first part of the skip just literally fell to pieces. So basically it was a case of just putting it to one side and storing it. Anyway, out with the little tonker. I couldn't have done this without the help of that little machine. It's been a marvellous tool. Lift the skip off, put that to one side, and that's out of the way. Then start lifting the cab off. Top half of the cab, that came off reasonably well, and it's not in bad condition. It needs a lot of repair work, but it will live again. It's unlike the bottom half of the cab, which quite literally fell to pieces, and you can see here it's just disintegrating as I'm lifting it off. I decided to start at the back of the chassis and work my way forwards with the plan of effectively doing it in sort of 2 halves. So I come up with this little trestle thing to stick under the back of the chassis while I took the wheels off and got stuck into stripping the back axle out. As you can see, with this brake hub comes off, I've got a hub seal leak in here, and there's another wheel which wouldn't turn at all because the bearings were absolutely knackered. So straight away I'm looking at buying parts for it to get him back on the road. As the various pieces start coming off, we start the serious work of the restoration, cleaning the old rust off and getting rid of the old paint, doing a few repairs as necessary, and getting them ready for a fresh coat of paint. Use any means possible. A wire brush and a grinder going on here, and there's always the old electrolysis bucket with the battery charger on. That's very good. We've also got the chemical mixture, citric acid, that Phil came up with, and that all helps. There you can see the results of the electrolysis with this brake back plate here. It's been in the tank, so all the rust's been converted and cleaned off, all the old paint's off, and 5 minutes with the wire brush and it cleans up very nicely. Just check doesn't need any repairs, all looking good, and that can get a coat of red oxide primer, as well as the various parts. So all the nuts and bolts, washers and screws, they all need cleaning, checking to see if they're reusable, and get them on, and that's going to be an ongoing marathon right the way through. The bench wire brush, that's going to see some service over the next few months. Everything gets cleaned up, gets a coat of red oxide, and then in storage, waiting until we get to the point where we can put it back on. You've got wheel hubs here in red oxide, they're just waiting for their second coat. Fully expected the rear brake chambers to be full of muck and dirt, but I wasn't quite ready for the amount there was, especially in this offside one. Look at the state of it, and that did take a bit of cleaning, but we got it all cleaned up, repainted, and with a bit of careful work put it all back together, and they all both appear to work very nicely now they've all been cleaned. Then we move on to the big heavy job, getting this rear axle bogey out. And cool, what a couple of days work that was. That was serious hard graft trying to get that out. But we got it in the end, and with that out the way on one side, we start attacking the actual chassis rails themselves. And again, wire brush on the grinder, needle gun, anything that works, clean the muck off. Of course, you've got to get dressed for the part. As you can see here, goggles, face mask and all the rest of it. You've got to think health and safety. We're only a couple of months into the project, and I've already realised I'm going to need a lot of spares. There's quite a bit on Monty that's not reusable and not repairable, and part of that's the wheel bearings. I've looked at the cost of them, they're frightening. So I thought a good idea, try and find a scrap Militant, one that's getting broken, and I can use that for spares. And I found this one up in Yorkshire. So me and the wife trolleyed round to have a quick look at it. Unfortunately, it's a bit too far gone. It's nearly as bad as Monty's, and the guy that's selling it wanted too much for it. So we abandoned that idea and carry on. Well, we'll find another one though. As I say, as well as the de-rusting and painting, there's been a few repairs along the way, like fixing the hole that had been cut into this rear cross member, just welding a new piece of metal in, and that looks quite good. I was well pleased with how that one came out. And then we started on the back axle set in earnest. We got it up on some stands here, and I'm stripping the torque rods out, even though I didn't get the right size spanner and was using a pair of Steelsons. The big sledgehammer, which I'd lost and then I found again, if you remember, cracks it open. That got that off, and we can turn them upside down and start cleaning. But unfortunately though, it's getting to that time of year where the weather's closing in and winter's coming, and it got a bit inclement working outside. So I acquired this little tent, which is standing over the back axle, and at least it allowed us to carry on cleaning the muck off the axle and getting it sorted out. And as you can see here, that is some serious muck to come off of there. Unfortunately though, eventually the weather got too bad and we had to admit defeat. Even the little tent gave in, as you can see here, so we had to retreat to the shed. But still, we didn't stop. We cracked on with this switch panel and got that cleaned up, and you can see from the state of it, it was all seized up and not very healthy. But we got it cleaned up, got it all painted, new cables on it, and it all works nicely and it does look good. Of course, there's always the marathon of the nuts and bolts, plenty to get on with. So we didn't get bored, even though we couldn't be playing out. Of course, you're always going to be governed by the weather when you're working outside. So on good days, we got down the farm, cracked on with the back axle, eventually got it all cleaned and painted. And on bad days, we're in the shed doing all the other bits and pieces and carrying on. It did seem at one point that the more parts we took off of Monty, the more we were finding that were completely unrepairable and of no real use, like these air tanks. They're never going to get repaired. They're far too gone. So I've got to find replacements for them. So the need to find a donor Militant to break for spares was getting more and more urgent, but I still hadn't found anything. Wasn't all doom and gloom though. Things like the inside of this transfer box, that's in very good condition, that, and I was well pleased. You couldn't ask for it to look better. So we got it unhooked, lifted it out and put it on one side for a clean up and a repaint. Well, we survived the winter. We're moving into spring and the better weather's coming, so we can get back on with the job. With a bit of help from son Phil, the back axle went back in and then the transfer box in, and we started looking at getting a coat of primer on it. And if you remember, it was a good afternoon, nice weather, we got the grey primer all over, and yeah, we're looking like we're making progress now. Took a little break from Monty back in March, had to spend a bit of time on the other two trucks, getting them ready for the show season this year. You can't be neglecting them, and I had a few jobs to do, not least of which was a leaky hub seal on the old timber tractor here. Then of course there was the little diversion of taking granddaughter Wren out for a run round. Oh, she was so excited about going in Grandad's truck. Unfortunately, when we got out and actually doing it, it wasn't really what she was hoping for. And never mind, we give it a try. While we was doing all that, I had a bit of a breakthrough with Monty. Finally found a suitable Militant as a spares donor. And here we are, chassis number 08601819. The only downside is it's located in Northumberland, about 50 miles north of Newcastle. So me and a friend jumped in the old bus stop to Wrecker, and off we went and go and fetch the thing. And here we are, coming back over the Tyne on the way back home, passing what I now know is the Scotswood Bridge, and bringing it back down with a quick overnight stop in Washington services and back down the next day. And here we are, back in the bus yard with our donor Militant. And for the next couple of weeks, all efforts been directed to stripping this thing down and getting the bits and pieces off that we need. started by taking the top of the cab off and so on, and worked on from there. Here's the first trailer load of spares going at the farm. The top half of the donor's cab, not much use to us really, apart from being a different pattern. It's in a very poor condition. In fact, it's in a worse state than Monty's. The bottom half of the cab though, that's good, and that's in very good condition. It needs a clean up, of course, but yeah, that's going to help us out no end. You've got the offside here, and then the near side coming off with the old company forklift. It's all in the trailer, bit by bit, and going back down the farm. Little Tonka's on hand again to help unloading it. As I say, I couldn't do Monty's restoration without the help of that little machine. It's been lovely. I knew the transfer gearbox on the donor Militant was no good, so I literally just cut that out with the gas axe and get it down and out the way. But the real gearbox and the engine, that's a different story. I need to hang on to those. And here we are with the little Tonka, carefully lifting out the gearbox and then the engine, and all gets loaded up on the back of the little Tonka and back down the farm. I can't remember exactly how many trips I did with the trailer. I seemed to be going up and down endlessly at one stage, but each time the trailer got loaded up to the gunnels, full of bits either for Monty, bits I was going to sell to somebody else, or bits that might be needed in the future. It's all useful stuff though, and it's all getting shipped back down to the farm or back to home. And eventually we're down to just the back axle to remove. So quite simply, lift the chassis right up and roll the axle out from underneath, with the help of a friend, of course. On days where I couldn't get up to the bus yard, I carried on working in the shed at home. Started looking at some of the bits we'd taken off, like this foot brake valve, which if you remember, cleaned up very well. And you can see it next to Monty's one here. Last bit then, got the rear axle into the workshop, managed to scrounge a little bit of space inside, hide out the wet weather, and strip that down, get the wheel hubs off, all the brakes, and the wheel bearings, of course, which is one of the parts we desperately need. So here we are then. The whole Militant's been stripped down, it's all gone. I've got parts stacked up everywhere. Radiator, engine, different bits down there. There's a load of bits at home in the shed, and so on. But we're all done. It's all stripped out and gone. A few bits off the donor Militant that weren't quite as good as I was hoping they were going to be, like these prop shaft flanges. They're just as rusty as Monty's ones. But then other bits, like these wheel bearings, a major success. These are in very good condition. In fact, they look almost new, and they're going to be a great help to me. Now we got the donor Militant sorted and all the parts safely gathered in, and we're back on Monty. Here we are, top coat going on to the chassis, and that brings us right up to date. So we sort of turned the corner now. We've done stripping out and repainting and repairing. Now we can start putting stuff back together. And the first thing to go back on will be these new brake back plates. I'm having trouble saying that. Brake back plates that we've just finished repairing and painting in top coat. And they're the first things to go back on. And that will be into year 2 with Monty. So there we are. We've had a whole year. Unbelievable. The other thing I can't quite believe is doing these little videos. I didn't think there'd be much interest really, and I had to be talked into doing them in the first place. And here we are 1 year in, and we're up as far as part 30. And there's thousands of you guys out there looking in every week to see how we're getting on. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your interest. And as for the whole Fettlermeister channel, yeah, subscriber numbers are creeping up. We're getting very close to 2,000. Yeah, all that's sort of successful, and I never thought it would be. So yeah, as I say, thank you very much for looking in. Thank you very much for watching, and let's all look forward to year 2 of Monty. And we get on and start putting things back together, and that will be in part 31, believe it or not. So we'll see you there. Bye for now.